The candles flickered softly, casting a warm glow across the table at La Belle Étoile, one of Chicago's finest restaurants. My heart beat in time with their dance as I gazed at Ryan, my fiancé, sitting across from me. His dark hair caught the light, and his familiar smile made my chest ache with love. Tonight was the night. I'd found the perfect venue for our wedding, a charming rooftop overlooking Lake Michigan. The words I'd rehearsed 1,000 times sat ready on my tongue, waiting for the right moment. The scent of Ryan's cedarwood cologne mixed with the buttery aroma of fresh bread, wrapping me in a cocoon of hope. My phone buzzed on the table, breaking the spell. I glanced down, expecting a message from Mia, my best friend, who was almost as excited about this dinner as I was. She'd been texting me all day, gushing about wedding plans. But it wasn't Mia's name on the screen. It was Chloe, my maid of honor. The preview text froze the air in my lungs. "Last night was incredible, babe. Can't stop thinking about you." My world tilted. My fingers hovered over the notification, trembling. Part of me wanted to fling the phone into the restaurant's ornate fountain and pretend I'd never seen it. But I've always been the type to face the truth, no matter how much it hurts. I opened the message. "Last night was incredible, babe. Can't stop thinking about you." The next line gutted me. "Emily's so caught up with wedding stuff, she'll never suspect a thing." Tears stung my eyes, but I blinked them back, my chest so tight I could barely breathe. Chloe, my college best friend, the woman who'd helped me choose Ryan's engagement ring, who'd cried with joy when he proposed, had betrayed me. And Ryan, the man I'd trusted with my future, was the other half of this lie. Across the table, Ryan was mid-sentence, talking about a new client at his law firm, oblivious to the storm inside me. "You okay, Em?" he asked, his brow creasing with concern. His hand reached for mine, but I pulled back, my skin crawling at the thought of his touch. Those hands had been with Chloe last night while I was up late, comparing floral arrangements for our wedding. "I'm fine," I said, my voice steady despite the chaos in my heart. "Just a work email I need to check." It was a lie, but he bought it, nodding with that easy smile I used to love. I scrolled through their messages, each word a dagger. Weeks of flirting, secret meetups planned around my schedule, even a photo of them together at a bar in Wicker Park. My stomach twisted. How had I missed this? The waiter arrived with our plates: salmon for me, steak for Ryan. "Another bottle of Pinot Noir?" Ryan asked, all charm. "We're celebrating tonight." I forced a smile, sipping my water to keep my voice from breaking. "Actually, I'm not feeling great. Maybe we should head home." His eyes searched mine, but he didn't push. "Sure, let's get the check." As he signaled the waiter, I studied his face, the face I'd thought I'd wake up to for the rest of my life. How many lies hid behind those warm hazel eyes? My phone buzzed again. "Chloe. Wrong chat, oops. Delete that." Too late, I thought, my resolve hardening. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The elevator to my Chicago apartment felt like a coffin, closing in as I rode up to the 14th floor. My phone burned in my hand, Chloe's messages searing my mind. I hadn't slept, hadn't eaten since that dinner at La Belle Étoile last night. Ryan had driven me home, his hand on my knee, oblivious to the fact that I knew everything. I'd lain awake in our bed, his steady breathing beside me a cruel reminder of his lies. Now, at 3 a.m., I sat on the couch in our Lincoln Park loft, the city skyline mocking me through the window. The framed photos on the mantel, Ryan and me at Navy Pier, Chloe and me laughing at my engagement party, felt like relics of a life I no longer recognized. I opened Chloe's messages again, scrolling until my eyes burned. "Can't wait to see you again, babe," she'd written 2 days ago. "Emily's so busy with venues, we've got all the time in the world." There were photos to a selfie of them at a rooftop bar in the Loop, her arm around his waist. My stomach churned. How had I been so blind? My fingers shook as I screenshot everything, saving every damning word. Then I checked our joint bank account, the one we'd set up for wedding expenses. A $200 charge at a boutique hotel in River North. A $150 dinner at a restaurant I'd never been to. Each transaction was a slap, proof of their secret life. My phone buzzed, startling me. A text from Mia. "How'd the venue talk go?" Spill. I stared at the screen, my throat tight. Mia had been my rock since high school, the one who'd thrown me a surprise bridal shower. If anyone could help me through this, it was her. I typed, "Can you come over?" It's bad. 20 minutes later, she was at my door, her dark curls wild from the late-night drive. "What's wrong?" she asked, her eyes searching mine. I handed her my phone, letting Chloe's messages speak for themselves. Mia's face darkened with each swipe. "That snake," she spat. "And Ryan? What a coward. You're not letting this slide, Em." "I don't know what to do," I admitted, my voice cracking. Part of me wants to confront them, scream, break something. But that's not enough. Mia grabbed my laptop from the coffee table. "Then we get smart. We hit them where it hurts." She pulled up Chloe's Instagram, her perfect profile a gallery of lies. A post from my engagement party showed her hugging me, captioned, "My bestie's big day. So happy." The timestamp twisted the knife she'd been with Ryan that night. Mia's fingers flew across the keyboard, digging into Chloe's LinkedIn. "She's up for partner at her law firm, right? Preston and Hayes? That's her weak spot. A scandal could ruin her." I nodded, a spark of purpose cutting through the fog. "She's been bragging about a big client deal. If there's anything shady, it's there." Mia's eyes gleamed. "Let's find it." "And Ryan? He's not getting off easy either." I opened our bank statements again, noting every suspicious charge: hotels, bars, even a $300 jewelry purchase I'd never seen. "They thought I was too busy planning our wedding to notice," I said, my voice steadying. "They're wrong." Mia squeezed my hand. "That's my girl. We're burning their world down." As dawn broke over Chicago, my hands stopped shaking. Ryan stirred in the bedroom, getting ready for an early meeting. I forced a smile as he kissed my forehead. "Feeling better?" he asked. "Yeah, I lied. Good luck today." The door closed behind him, and I turned to Mia. "Let's get to work." She grinned, fierce and ready. They won't know what hit them. The morning sun filtered through the blinds of my Lincoln Park apartment, but it did nothing to warm the cold resolve settling in my chest. I sat at the kitchen counter, my laptop open, coffee gone cold as I sifted through the evidence Mia and I had gathered last night. Bank statements, screenshots of Chloe's texts to Ryan, and a growing list of suspicious charges: $250 here, $400 there, all tied to places I'd never been. Each click felt like a step closer to justice, but the weight of betrayal still pressed down, heavy and sharp. My phone buzzed. "Ryan. Miss you, babe. Dinner tonight." I stared at the words, my stomach twisting. "Miss me, or miss the liar living?" I texted back, busy with work. "Maybe tomorrow." His reply was instant. "Love you." I wanted to scream. Instead, I grabbed my coat and headed to a small cafe in Lincoln Park to meet Sarah, a former colleague of Chloe's from Preston and Hayes. Mia had tracked her down through a mutual friend, saying Sarah might know something useful. The cafe smelled of fresh espresso and pastries, but my nerves were too raw to enjoy it. Sarah slid into the booth across from me, her sharp eyes scanning my face. "You look like you haven't slept," she said, cutting straight to it. "I haven't," I admitted. "Chloe and Ryan there," I faltered, the words too bitter to say. Sarah leaned in, her voice low. "I know what Chloe's capable of. Let me guess. She's playing dirty, and your fiancé's in on it." I nodded, sliding my phone across the table with a screenshot of Chloe's texts. Sarah's jaw tightened as she read. "Classic Chloe," she muttered. "She did this at the firm too. Stole credit for a major client deal last year, got herself promoted to associate. The real work was done by another lawyer, Lauren. Chloe faked documents, took the glory, and threatened anyone who dared speak up." My pulse quickened. "Do you have proof?" Sarah pulled out a USB drive, sliding it toward me. Emails, memos, even a recorded call where she brags about it. I kept it in case she came for me next. I clutched the drive, its weight a promise. "Why are you helping me?" Sarah's eyes darkened. "Because Chloe ruined Lauren's career. She's my friend. And I hate seeing good people get crushed." Back at my apartment, I plugged in the drive. My screen lit up with files, hundreds of emails detailing Chloe's schemes, including exchanges with Ryan about discreet client accounts at his firm. My blood ran cold. This wasn't just cheating. They were moving money, small amounts at first, but it added up $5,000 in a month, hidden in client trusts. I opened the tracking app I'd installed on our shared iPad. Ryan's location blinked at the Grand Lake Hotel downtown, the same place we'd celebrated our first anniversary. A new message from Chloe popped up on his account. Room 412. Don't keep me waiting. My hands shook, but I screenshot it, adding it to the growing pile of evidence. Mia arrived an hour later, her eyes blazing as I showed her the files. They're not just liars, they're criminals, she said, pacing the room. We need to hit them hard, Em. Chloe's up for partner next month. Her reputation's everything. I nodded, my mind racing. And Ryan's firm won't tolerate a scandal. We exposed them both. Mia grabbed her phone. I'll call Sarah. We need her on board for the next step. I looked out at the Chicago skyline, the city's sharp edges mirroring the steel in my heart. We're not just exposing them, I said, my voice low. We're taking them down. Sarah's voice crackled through Mia's speakerphone. I'm in. But we need a stage somewhere public where they can't hide. I thought of the engagement party I'd been planning, a glitzy event at a downtown hotel. I've got the perfect place, I said, a plan forming. They think they're untouchable. Let's prove them wrong. Mia grinned, fierce and ready. Let's make it a party they'll never forget. As I saved the latest files, Ryan's text lit up my phone again. Can't wait to see you, babe. I didn't reply. He'd see me soon enough, just not the way he expected. The Chicago skyline glittered through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the Grand Lake Hotel's ballroom, its lights dancing like the string lights strung above the engagement party I'd spent weeks planning. The room buzzed with clinking glasses, soft jazz, and the chatter of colleagues, friends, and Ryan's law firm partners. I adjusted the cream silk dress Chloe had helped me pick out, her words echoing in my mind. It makes you look so innocent, Em. Like a bride. Tonight, that innocence was my weapon. I scanned the crowd, my heart pounding, but my face calm. Everything was in place. Mia and Sarah had spent days perfecting the presentation that would unravel Ryan and Chloe's lies. This wasn't just a party. It was a battlefield. Ryan stood near the bar, charming a group of clients in the blue tie I'd given him for our anniversary. He caught my eye and flashed a smile, the kind that used to melt me. Now, it only fueled my resolve. Chloe glided through the room in a red dress that screamed confidence, stopping to air-kiss a board member from Preston and Hayes. She spotted me and hurried over, her smile too bright. Em, you're glowing. Don't stress, babe. I've got everything under control. Her voice dripped with false warmth. I forced a smile, my stomach twisting. Thanks, Chloe. Couldn't do this without you. The lie tasted bitter, but it kept her unsuspecting. Mia appeared at my side, her dark curls pinned elegantly, her eyes sharp. All set, she whispered, handing me a glass of water disguised as champagne. Sarah's got the projector ready. Just say the word. I nodded, my fingers tightening around the glass. The weight of what I was about to do pressed down exposed my fiancé and my best friend as liars and thieves in front of Chicago's elite. Part of me still wavered. Could I forgive Ryan, start over? Could I let Chloe's betrayal slide, keep the peace? But then I remembered the texts, the hotel charges, the $5,000 they'd siphoned from client accounts. No, they'd chosen this war. I was ending it. I moved through the crowd, greeting guests, my smile a perfect mask. Ryan's boss, Mr. Carter, clapped me on the shoulder. You've got a good one in Ryan, Emily. He's going places. I nodded, my throat tight. Oh, he's definitely going somewhere. Mia caught my eye from across the room, her expression fierce. She'd spent hours cross-referencing Sarah's files with our bank records, building an airtight case. Chloe's emails bragged about creative accounting to Ryan, who'd replied with plans to keep Emily distracted with wedding prep. Each word had carved a new scar, but they'd also sharpened my purpose. Chloe approached again, a champagne flute in hand. You okay, Em? You seem quiet. Her eyes searched mine, a flicker of unease breaking her facade. She knew me too well, sense the storm beneath my calm. "Just nervous," I said, my voice soft but steady. "Big night." She relaxed, patting my arm. "You're gonna be the perfect bride." The irony burned. As she walked away, I caught Sarah's nod from the tech booth. The presentation was loaded screenshots, financial records, even a recorded call of Chloe admitting to stealing Lauren's work. All ready to light the fuse. Ryan joined me, slipping an arm around my waist. "You look beautiful," he murmured, his hazel eyes warm. For a moment, I saw the man I'd loved, the one who'd proposed under the stars at Adler Planetarium. But that man was a lie. His touch felt wrong, tainted by Chloe's perfume and their secret nights. "Thanks," I said, stepping out of his grasp. "I need to check on the caterer." His brow furrowed, but he let me go, turning back to a client. I moved toward the stage, my pulse racing. Mia and Sarah flanked me, silent but steady. "You sure about this?" Mia asked, her voice low. I thought of the USB drive, the bank statements, the photo of Chloe and Ryan at that rooftop bar. "I've never been sure." The band paused, and the room's attention shifted. Ryan raised his glass, ready to toast. "If I could have everyone's eyes up here," he began, his voice smooth. I stepped forward, cutting him off. "Actually, I'd like to say something first." He blinked, surprised but pleased, probably expecting a sappy speech about love. The crowd turned to me expectant. My heart thundered, but my voice was clear. "Tonight's about truth," I said, my eyes locking on Ryan, then Chloe. "And it's time everyone here knew it." Mia signaled Sarah. The projector hummed to life. This was it. No turning back. The Grand Lake Hotel's ballroom held its breath as I stood on the stage, the projector's glow casting sharp shadows across the crowd. Chicago's elite lawyers, clients, friends stared up at me, their champagne flutes frozen mid-sip. Ryan's smile faltered, his blue tie suddenly too tight around his neck. Chloe, in her crimson dress, gripped her glass, her eyes darting to the exits. I took a steady breath, my voice cutting through the silence. "I planned this engagement party to celebrate love. But tonight, you're all going to see the truth about my fiancé and my maid of honor." A murmur rippled through the room. I nodded to Sarah in the tech booth. The screen behind me lit up. When I found out Ryan was sleeping with Chloe, I said, my words deliberate, I had two choices. Crumble. Or fight. A collective gasp sucked the air from the room. Chloe's glass slipped, shattering on the marble floor, the sound like a gunshot. Ryan's face drained of color, his mouth opening, but no words came. The first slide appeared screenshots of their texts. "Last night was incredible, babe," Chloe had written. "Emily's too busy with wedding stuff to notice." The crowd shifted, whispers growing louder. I pressed on, my voice steady despite the storm in my chest. "But that's not all. They didn't just betray me. They betrayed their firms, their clients, and every one of you." The next slide showed bank records from our joint account, highlighting $5,000 in suspicious transfers to hotels and bars. Then Sarah's files emails between Chloe and Ryan detailing discreet client account movements. Small amounts, Ryan had written. "No one will notice." The board members from Preston and Hayes sat up, their faces grim. Chloe stammered, stepping forward. "This is ridiculous." She's unhinged." Her voice cracked, betraying her panic. I met her gaze, unflinching. "The SEC doesn't think so." I nodded to Mia, who handed a stack of documents to Mr. Carter, Ryan's boss. "Neither does the ethics board. Or the police." Ryan raised a hand, his charm crumbling. Honey, let's talk about this. Privately." The crowd parted as he stepped toward me, but my voice stopped him cold. "We're done talking." The screen shifted to a recorded call, Chloe's voice clear and smug. "Lauren's deal? Mine now. No one's gonna check." Gasps turned to outrage. Sarah stepped forward, her presence commanding. "That was my friend Lauren's work. Chloe stole it to get her promotion. And she's been stealing from clients ever since." The room erupted, board members shouting, clients pulling out phones to call lawyers. Chloe lunged for the projector, but Mia blocked her, calm and fierce. "Not so fast." I turned to Ryan, who stood frozen, his hazel eyes pleading. "You never planned to marry me," I said, my voice echoing. "This engagement was just a cover. You and Chloe used my wedding plans to hide your transfers $5,000, $10,000, more while I was picking out flowers. The screen showed their emails, dates matching my venue visits." Ryan shook his head. "You can't prove that." But Sarah raised her phone, her voice cutting through. "Actually, she can. I recorded Chloe last week, admitting she stole Lauren's work and others, including mine." Chaos exploded. A board member demanded answers. A client yelled about lawsuits. Security, arranged by Mia, moved in as Chloe tried to bolt, her red dress a blur. She screamed, "You're ruining everything." I stepped off the stage, my cream silk dress catching the light. "No," I said, my voice calm but deadly. "I'm just showing everyone who you really are." The police arrived, badges flashing in the chandelier light. An officer read Chloe her rights as her mascara ran, her power shrinking with every word. Ryan tried one last time, grabbing my arm. "I loved you, Em. In my way." I pulled free, my skin crawling. "Your way isn't enough." As the police led them out, Chloe spat, "You'll regret this." I smiled, feeling the weight lift. "I already regret trusting you." The crowd buzzed with stunned whispers, phones recording the fallout. Mr. Carter approached, his face grim. "Emily, we'll need your statement." I nodded, exhaustion creeping in. Mia squeezed my shoulder, her eyes fierce. "You did it." Sarah joined us, handing me the USB drive. Lauren would be proud. I looked at the crowd, their shocked faces a blur. My perfect engagement party had become a perfect reckoning. The police van's lights flashed outside, reflecting off the ballroom's windows. Ryan's blue tie disappeared through the door, Chloe's red dress a fading streak. I stood still, the room spinning with voices and questions. I'd planned every detail, the evidence, the timing, the witnesses knowing it would burn their world down. But as the adrenaline faded, a hollow ache settled in. I'd won, but at what cost? Mia's voice broke through. "You okay, Em?" I exhaled, my voice soft. "Ask me tomorrow." Sarah nodded, her eyes steady. "You're stronger than they ever were." The ballroom buzzed on, a stage now for truth instead of lies. I straightened my dress, no longer a bride, but something fiercer. The fight wasn't over, but for the first time in weeks I felt free. Dawn broke over Chicago, painting the skyline in soft pinks and golds as I stepped out of the police precinct. My heels clicked on the empty sidewalk, the sound sharp against the city's quiet hum. My cream silk dress, wrinkled from the long night of giving statements, clung to me like a second skin. Mascara smudged my cheeks, but I felt no shame. For the first time in weeks, I felt alive. The weight of Ryan's lies, Chloe's betrayal, and the chaos of last night's engagement party had lifted, leaving something new in its place. Not peace, not yet, but power. My phone, silent during the interrogation, buzzed to life. Dozens of messages flooded in, colleagues offering support, friends reeling from the news, even Ryan's mother, shocked but kind. I ignored them all, opening only one. A news alert. Multiple arrests at Preston and Hayes, financial misconduct uncovered. A car idled at the curb and Mia rolled down the window. "Need a ride?" Her dark curls were messy, her eyes tired but warm. I shook my head, breathing in the crisp morning air. "I think I'll walk." "Thanks, Mia. For everything." She studied me, then nodded. "You're tougher than you look, Em." Her car pulled away, leaving me alone with the city. The streets of Lincoln Park were waking up, joggers and dog walkers weaving past. I thought of the woman I'd been just days ago, planning a wedding built on sand. She seemed like a stranger now, someone who measured her worth by Ryan's smiles and Chloe's hugs. My phone buzzed again. "Sarah. Breakfast at Lou's Diner. Lauren's buying. You in?" I smiled, my first real smile in days. On my way. The diner was nearly empty when I arrived, its neon sign buzzing softly. Mia, Sarah, and a new face, Lauren, Sarah's friend and Chloe's first victim, sat in a corner booth, looking as worn as I felt. "Hope you don't mind," Sarah said, sliding over to make room. Lauren wanted to meet you. Lauren's eyes shone with gratitude. You took Chloe down, Emily. Something I couldn't do. I shook my head, accepting a coffee from Mia. We did it together. All of us. Sarah pulled out her tablet, her voice brisk. You should see this. An email from Preston and Hayes' board. They're launching a wider investigation into financial misconduct, not just Chloe and Ryan's scheme. Other firms are getting nervous. Mia grinned. They're calling it the Good Girls Revolt. Lauren's voice was quiet but firm. You wanted justice for yourself, Emily. But you showed others they can fight back too. I sipped my coffee, warmth spreading through me. The satisfaction wasn't fiery like revenge. It was steady, clear, like the dawn outside. I have an idea, I said, leaning forward. A consulting firm. Corporate ethics, fraud prevention. We use what we've learned, our scars, to help others spot the signs we missed. Sarah's eyes lit up. Turn pain into armor. Lauren nodded. And shields for others. Mia raised her mug, her grin fierce. What do we call it? I looked down at my wrinkled dress, then at the women around me, strong and unbowed. The answer came easily. Rising partners. Because we don't just survive the fire. We rise from it. As we toasted with coffee, the diner's jukebox played a soft tune, and Chicago woke around us. I wasn't the bride I'd planned to be. I was something better. A phoenix forged in truth, ready for whatever came next.